Good evening. Have you ever wished that you could change something about yourself? Perhaps you've wished to be a little bit stronger. Perhaps you wish you were a little bit smarter. Perhaps you've wished to live for a much longer lifespan to see the world. Well, with genetic engineering, this is all possible. Let's ask our friend over here what he would change. Mr. Hennefield, is there anything that you would change about yourself if you had the technology? Oh, sure. I suppose control over one's emotions. I wish that I could control my temper a little bit more sometimes. Occasionally I think to myself that I should probably pay a little bit more attention to the things that I'm doing, the things that are directly in front of me. But you know, you can never... What the figurative language? Looks like Mr. Hennefield could use a little genetic engineering himself. Perhaps something to control that temper. Perhaps a little bit more intelligence, and obviously a new hand. The point is, genetic engineering is a powerful technology that can change our world. We need to make sure we understand it. We need to make sure we understand the evidence and the facts before we choose a side. There are valid arguments for both sides. It'll be up to you to decide which one you want to argue for. It'll be your mission to study the evidence. There could be some very positive things. There could also be some darker sides to this matter. You are the argument maker. You will make the argument. You will present us with your claim, and you will back it up and defend it. No! That's going to require stitches. Hello, good afternoon, everybody. This is Mr. Hennefield. I hope everybody's doing really well. I just want to welcome you back to our Unit 3. This is our brand new unit, and we're going to be studying argument writing. How to write a great argument essay where you choose a side and where you support your opinions with facts and evidence. The topic that we're going to study this unit is genetic engineering and designer babies. This is a fascinating and powerful technology that we have been using in society for a little while, but it's very controversial, meaning that it's likely to give rise to public disagreement. Some people believe this, some people believe that, and they talk about it, they debate. One of the ways that we debate is we write formal arguments. That's what we're going to be focusing on in this new unit. So I just want you to think of this question as you're listening. If you could go back in time before you were born and change anything about yourself, would you? If you had that technology or that power, would you do that? Why or why not? Just be thinking about that because you're going to be writing about it a little bit later. Now, our learning targets for this week, this first week of ours, are very simple. We have a reading learning target, which is I can identify an author's point and purpose in a text. You're going to read an article, and you're going to try to figure out, why did the author write this? What's their point? Writing. Now, you're going to establish a reasonable claim. We're going to talk about what a claim is, and you're going to make one by the end of this week. So, what's the purpose of learning argument writing? We're in the middle of a crazy pandemic. Everybody is pushed to the limits, stressed out. Well, writing argument essays can help us communicate more clearly. We learn to write arguments because it's a lifelong skill that will enable you to analyze information and clearly convey your ideas. It's also fun to argue and to exchange ideas and opinions. But to do so, we must present our opinions in an organized fashion and back them up with relevant evidence and analysis of that evidence in order to support our claims. There's 2 examples on the bottom here. Try to be like Captain Burnham of the Star Trek Discovery series. She's very diplomatic. She argues very well. Maybe don't be so much like Michael Scott from The Office, who is perhaps not very calm and collected in his arguments. So, what's a claim? A claim is simply your stated opinion on an issue. It should be supported with a reason and be debatable. For example, ginger ale is better than Coca-Cola because it has less sugar and the carbonation lasts longer. That's a claim that I'm making. It's just my opinion. This is a claim because it's my opinion. It's supported with a reason why I believe it to be true. It can be backed up or refuted with evidence, and it's debatable. There's two sides or maybe more. It can be talked about and debated. Humans need oxygen to breathe is not a claim because it's not debatable. This is a very one-sided type of statement. We definitely need oxygen to breathe. So a claim is just your opinion, and it has to be debatable. Okay, so what is genetic engineering, and what's a designer baby? Genetic engineering is the process of manipulating DNA to change the genetic makeup of an organism, in this case, humans. We're going to look at how humans are altered in this unit. If we should do it, we have the technology. Just because we have the technology, is it always good to go forward with it? The term designer baby is a little misleading. These are regular humans, but their genes have been altered or changed. It refers to a child whose genes have been altered or eliminated to enhance desired traits, perhaps longer life or no diseases or a higher IQ, and it is very illegal right now worldwide. So here's a cartoon that kind of illustrates what this world might look like. You see a couple here, and they say, do we want a tech tycoon or a tax lawyer? Imagine if we lived in a world where parents could choose exactly the type of person that they wanted before they were born. This has extremely big implications for our world. It would change our world through and through, inside and out. We want to be thinking about the consequences, the pros and cons of a world that can use this technology. Again, here's some other great cartoons that illustrate genetic engineering. You see a scientist, genetic engineering safety protocols. It looks like he's already gone a little bit too far with genetic engineering. Then on the left, lower left, you see two parents. We want one that's genetically gifted, but not genetically spoiled. Yeah, you have parents, if they have the option to make their baby, they might be a little bit too picky, a little bit too choosy in terms of what they can do. They want this, but they don't want this. So these are some big questions you want to ask yourself during this unit. Can humanity responsibly and ethically genetically engineer human beings? Ethics are the study between good and bad. What is morally right? What is morally wrong? Will genetic engineering humans improve the world? Can we trust institutions or the government to ethically use genetic engineering? Will genetic engineering be available to people of all backgrounds, all social classes, races, all different social economic statuses? It's tough to say. That's what we're going to look at. So, this is your assignment for this week. You're going to open up the attached reading, which is called Scientists Can Design Better Babies, Should They? You're going to read it carefully. It's very important that you look for facts and evidence and details in order to answer the questions. Then you're going to answer the questions that are attached. There's about 8 of them. You want to make sure you read first and then type in your answers. Same way you've been doing. You can say edit document, and you'll be allowed to type inside the boxes. And lastly, I want you to write your own claim for that question we talked about in the beginning of these slides. If you could change a characteristic about yourself, if you could go back in time, change something about yourself before you were born, would you? Why? Why not? Anyways, if anybody has any questions, give me a message in chat. This is a brand new unit. You might have lots of questions and some uncertainties about what we're studying. Just send me a message in chat and we can talk privately one-on-one. Okay, everybody have a great rest of the day.